Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Nirmanan, officially doing a post-commentary for you guys today. I'm going to be discussing Black Ops 2, but before we get into the main gist of the commentary, the more interesting factors that lie ahead, we need to basically cover the, the beginning stuff of any kind of commentary that you listen to on a majority of channels. But with that in mind, the weapon I'm going to be using is the oh-so-powerful AK-74U. I do realize it's very overpowered. It had a lot of controversy back when Black Ops was in its prime, but this is just something I picked. We were playing a pretty try-hard team, and a guy was talking a lot of trash on the other team, so I figured I'd take out a weapon that's going to be on par with his FAMAS, and it seemed to work out in my favor. So the attachments can consist of rapid fire. I use rapid fire just for the sheer fact of the increase in ammunition that's going down range. That's a good setup. I'm sure you guys know. I'm sure a majority of you guys have played Black Ops, and you realize how it functioned, and the main setups that were used in a wide variety of every game you played. But what the perks can consist of: Flak Jacket, Sleight of Hand, Ninja. Pretty standard for going up against tryhards. You know, you don't want to die by nades when you jump on the crates, or in this case, the bomb sites. I don't know what Call of Duty refers to them as again, but with that in mind, the kill streaks are going to be pretty standard for me. I don't usually use anything that gets me a lot of kills, or very many kills at all. So I'm going to be using UAV, counter UAV, and napalm. I have about almost 10,000 UAVs called in. I haven't taken it off since day one of the game, so that just tells you how much I don't explore with other things. I like to play as effective as I can and help my team out, because the majority of players are not too keen on objective or intelligence levels for that matter. I'm going to be playing on, Summit, and it's obviously Demolition, as you guys can probably see from the screen and the information that's been given to you guys. Again, Demolition is one of my favorite game types in Black Ops especially. I'm looking forward to it in Black Ops 2. Hopefully it functions the same, and hopefully good players are rewarded, but only time will tell in that category. But with that in mind, and I did bring up Black Ops 2, we are going to basically be talking about Black Ops 2. Do I think it's going to last in the community? Do I think it's going to be something that will be revolutionary to the series? So, I guess I'll begin with my main statements. Again, this is how I perceive the game. If you guys have a different input, I would love to know, but, this is just how I perceive the game, or at least my thought process on it. So when I saw the campaign of Black Ops 2, I was skeptical within buying the series, because it looked really unprofessional. It didn't look like they spent a lot of time on it. It was recorded with like an HD camera, and the guy was like jiggling it around all over the screen with, half a clue on what was going on. With that in mind, I saw the Black Ops 2 multiplayer reveal, and it looked a lot better. I mean, a lot of the big YouTubers went out and played it. You have Hutch, and I want to say an Optic guy went out, but that could be incorrect in that category. But I do realize Hutch went out. And they talked a lot about it. They could upload, I think it was like 15 or 30 seconds worth of footage or whatever, and overall it looked really impressive. I was really impressed by the guns. Still looked like military grade weapons that you would find in a real life scenario. They didn't look too, I don't know, Crisis looking or something like that. Not that there's anything wrong with those, games like Crisis, but it was definitely a little bit different than I expected for a Call of Duty series to take a different route. Usually, they kind of stick within realistic wars that have occurred, so they have a database of information to use, and I would say Black Ops 2 is probably pushing that to a different extreme, definitely going outside of their normal. Call of Duty's usually stayed around World War II, the war in Afghanistan, stuff like that, you know what I mean? They don't really explore into different categories and different archives of information, so definitely I think this caught a lot of people off guard, but in the same respect, everyone seemed to be excited. I definitely wasn't excited when I saw the campaign, but later on, I kind of grew more of an approach to it. I kind of understood the main fundamentals of what they were trying to get accomplished, and hopefully they will stick within that guidelines, and they'll actually do maintenance on their game. It's Treyarch making the game, so there is a really high chance that the game will be patched appropriately. Things that are broken will get fixed. I don't really need to go into emphasis why I say Treyarch fixes their games a lot more than the previous and other developers, but they do a pretty well, pretty fair job at actually getting stuff accomplished within a timely manner. But in that same accord, that's just perception, I guess you could say. Some people like the Infinity Ward games, which that's awesome. They've made a few good titles. There's some that a lot of people would look at and say that, things should have got fixed in a timely manner, and even till today, they're still not fixed. But Infinity Ward games are a lot more based upon the fun factor. They do have a lot more different variations of how you can, entertain yourself, while Treyarch games are a lot more centered around, team communication and being a tryhard. I'm not saying you can't have fun, but you definitely can't do a lot of the things that you can in a different, developer's eyes. So back to the main concept and the main points of what I'm discussing. Black Ops 2 weaponry it looks awesome. I'm very impressed. A lot of YouTubers already have the game, which, you know, I'm skeptical how to place that into an effect. I think it's kind of stupid if you make videos, you know what I mean? Like, if you make videos and you're not YouTube famous or whatever that little crown that they want to stick above their head is, you know, it's kind of hard to grow in the community because, you know, day one, especially when it hits 1201, they're going to have videos popping up in your sub box crazy. And, you know, if you make videos, it's going to be very difficult for you to get your spotlight moment or however you want to place that into an effect. So, I guess it's skeptical, it's opinionated. If people don't make videos, I presume it's really awesome. That means you can just wait till 1201 and you're going to have about 15 videos waiting for you to watch. But if you make videos, you're going to be a little bit more frustrated because you know that the big YouTubers are going to push you down to this life-sucking abyss of the bottom of the subscription box. So, it's all perception in that category. It depends on how you want to view it in that standard eye, you know, a point. But, I guess that's one category you can mark off. The maps so far I've heard are very different. There is a few that look kind of like previous installments of Black Ops. They do kind of have a much better color scheme, which a lot of the YouTubers have been praising for quite some time, and what I've seen personally from the gameplays from like IGN and stuff that they did those hour to 2 hour streams, it looked a lot better. It didn't look as, you know, grayscaled as Treyarch usually tries to center their games around. Usually Treyarch doesn't really use the color wheel as much as Infinity Ward. Infinity Ward is, you know, farther known for using the color wheel to their full effectiveness, and for that, I mean, you got to applaud them. There's a lot of detail that they place into their game, but each developer and each company has a different flaw and pro. You know, some like to fix their games, some are not too keen on color wheels, some it could be vice versa. So with that in mind, guys, you know, there's just a lot I've discussed so far. I mean, obviously, I don't have the game, I don't have the luxury, but I will be getting it slightly early, not by much. It's only like a couple hours just because I have connections, but, you know, I don't get it like anything ridiculous, like a week early like some of them I've already had. But in that same keen, you know, obviously you're not going to be able to upload till 1201, and from what I've heard from a lot of people on Twitter, that there is a lot more people that got it this year, so either, you know, they're not doing too well on keeping their boxes locked up, or connections are getting, you know, placed out and all over the place for people to actually go out and have the luxury of having the opportunity to get it slightly early. I do realize eBay has always been an option for getting the game, but eBay is very skeptical and the pricing on there is a little ridiculous, so I would definitely say try to stray away from that if you're trying to find it early. For a majority of how people get it, you know, if you've watched PKA, you know, mom and pop shops are really good to get it early. I don't exactly know, you know, where you'd want to go for that category, but if you do have connections, that's awesome. I mean, privilege to you. I'm sure a majority of the community doesn't have it. That would be the prime concern probably in Treyarch's eyes if, you know, people were getting the game early and filling up the servers. But that's pretty much all I have to talk about. I mean, the kill streaks, you know, I've heard they're a difficult matter to talk about. Some people are really stoked for them. I realize that they are different compared to previous installments of the Call of Duty franchise. Obviously, they are different appeal and different, you know, maneuvers and stuff of that accord, but it'll be interesting to see how that functions. I've heard a lot of people say that air support is really overpowered, but that might just be because nobody has launchers unlocked yet, or they're just being greedy and they're not using the appropriate, you know, slots to fill with countering the air support. So it's very skeptical to talk right now, since, you know, the videos that have been released are, you know, people just putting them out there to put them out there. I guess there's not really a definitive answer for that one, but in the same accord, only time will tell. Once the game releases, I think a lot of the air support will probably begin taken care of, just because people are not going to want to deal with it like they did in Modern Warfare 3 and previous, you know, titles of that accord. So it'll be interesting to see how Black Ops 2 functions, but I guess you could say in my eyes, I'm looking forward to it, but in the same accord, I'm basically looking forward to it for completing the entire multiplayer experience, just hitting level 550, and then I'm probably going to put it down, and I probably won't play it for quite some time, but only time will tell in that category. If it's a really good game, like people are trying to press it to be, it might last longer than, you know, 2 months, because I know exactly when I'll be max level, so I predict that time will be very quick, and hopefully, you know, Treyarch will do maintenance on their game and keep everyone informed, and, you know, just make the game a great experience like Black Ops was. I thought Black Ops did a very well job, or very, you know, perfect job, or perfection. But with that in mind, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you guys will let me know if I missed anything huge. Hopefully you guys will stay tuned and check the links in the description for any channels in case you are wanting to increase your amount of videos to watch per day. But other than that, I will see you guys in the next installment. Peace.